Our greatest awareness right now is at this awakening that's taking place. This sudden realization that things are not working anymore and we need to make a change. That is a great start to self-mastery. That is like the foundation of self-mastery, is realizing that this isn't working, I need to make a change. And we have an internal measurement stick. That internal measurement stick is called I'm happy, I'm not happy. So when I'm happy, of course, things are great. When I'm not happy, that's the call for change. And our greatest learning happens through contrast. So when there's the absence of joy and the absence of love or peace or harmony, we're going to learn by the contrast of that. So in other words, it's going to feel a bit chaotic. You're going to feel quite fearful. Or worst case scenario, you feel really stuck and don't know what to do. So the planets are always guiding us. They're always saying to us, this is what's happening on the cosmic language. It's not just even personal anymore. It's very much about the cosmic language. It becomes personal if we have no self-awareness and we do nothing about changing our behaviors and not taking responsibility for the energy that we are creating. Of course, then it becomes a really big deal. With Mercury at 6 degrees stationed in Scorpio, there is this deep need to find a spiritual connection. Because he's currently peregrine in Scorpio, in other words, when a planet goes peregrine, it doesn't know how to behave. And Scorpio is saying, I really need you to be more focused here. I need you to really think about how you're going to communicate. And that Scorpio in the Mercury can become very egotistical. Again, no self-awareness. You're going to be working, operating, functioning from a place of fear. In other words, the contrast of love. Love is missing. With Mercury also at 6 degrees, he does make this hard aspect with our Ceres. And Ceres is about our self-esteem. And when Ceres is retrograde, as he is right now, and Mercury is retrograde, there is this sense of broken self-esteem. So our communication is not really at its greatest, which is why the emphasis again is on self-awareness. Everything that's going on in the sky and has been going on for a long time is saying, I need to look inside. Once I know what's happening inside here, then I can kind of figure out what's happening outside in my world, because the world is our mirror. So it's showing us internally the chaos. Right now, that's what's happening. It feels a little bit chaotic. It might feel a little bit stuck. And that's because it's saying I need to look inside before I can do anything about changing my outside. With Neptune now making a sextile to Uranus, who's now retrograding in Taurus, it's saying I'm dissolving all these fantasies that I used to believe were true. Uranus going back into Taurus is saying, I really need to hold on to something that feels like truth to me. And what I need to be cautious of is that I'm not stubborn about it. Is this really the truth? Because Neptune with Uranus is dissolving fantasies. It's bringing out the truth, and it's saying, I need to find a practical way to deal with this truth. Instead of being so rebellious, I must now look at being responsible at how I'm going to deal with this truth. So, of course, boundaries are being highlighted, or the lack of boundaries are being highlighted. There is a cosmic call for change. Everybody is feeling the cosmic call for change. And like I said just now, it's about the internal change. And once I do this internal change, I will then see the change around me. So let's look at Mercury, who is in Scorpio. He's currently at 6 degrees. So if Mercury 6 degrees is in your first house, it is a very personal, deep transformation. If Mercury at 6 degrees in retrograde is in your second house, he is definitely playing havoc with your self-esteem and your stuff, your cars, your phone, your money. If he's in your third house, it is about your everyday routine. So it's about like driving to work or, brushing your teeth. It's the routine stuff. Otherwise, it's about your siblings or about your communication. If he's in your 4th house, it's about your home or your sense of security. If he's in your 5th house, it means it's about your children, your creativity, or prospecting. 6th house is about how I am in service to my health, how I am in service to my work, how I am in service to others. It's my pet's house. The 7th house, and this is by Chaldean order, by the way. So the 7th house is about my partners, my partnerships. 8th house is about other people's money, their opinions. 9th house is my understanding, my spirituality, also long distance travel. And then, and the 9th house can also be looking at professional people like doctors, for example, or lawyers. The 10th house is my mom or my career. 11th house is my friends, my groups, my goals. And the 12th house, with Mercury sitting peregrine in the 12th house, you might be feeling like you're lost and you can't see anything in front of you. Because by Chaldean order, the 12th house is about what we can't see. It's the great unwashed. It's the unconscious. It's where we go to learn to trust. And the 12th house might also be this sudden realization, the sudden psychic awareness, the sudden psychic intuition that starts coming into play, or your sudden realization that you have this ability to transform and heal other people's trauma and wounds, especially if you're in that industry. So know which way we look at what the planets are doing, there is this cosmic call for change. It's saying that we need to start looking internally. We need to take responsibility for how we feel. And it's in the word responsibility. How am I responding to my emotions? We need to make our own emotions valid. We don't have to look for validation from others. We need to validate our own emotions and take responsibility from that point, and then make the changes that are necessary. Thanks to Darby once again, our superstar. Thank you for watching All Things Moons and Stars. I do wish you a wonderful weekend. I wish for you that the sun, who is sitting bright in the sky in Scorpio, is showing you the way to transform and allowing you to see your ego ways. In other words, all your fearful ways. And it shines a bright light and it says, come on, let's change it over here. Have a wonderful weekend. We will speak soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye.